Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Sister Farah Ahmed.
I'm going to talk today about a verse of Quran and a hadith saying of Imam Ali radiallahu anhu. The verse of Quran is obviously the verse of Shajarah Tayyibah, how a good word grows into a good tree. I'm also going to talk a little bit about a saying of Imam Ali, which I think really speaks to us in our contemporary situation. Imam Ali radiallahu anhu, he said in Arabic a hadith which is quite difficult to translate. But essentially what it means is he said that our duty is to educate our children for a time that is not our time. I.e., we shouldn't be educating our children the way our parents educated us. We need to educate them for a future that will be theirs, a future that we may not necessarily share. And it's this hadith, this idea of the importance of education, the importance of preparing our children for the future, that led myself and some friends of mine, some sisters that I know, who are very dear to my heart, to start homeschooling our children. And this was about 15 years ago. We thought to ourselves, what do our children need in this society? We certainly felt at that time that the state provision for education was not meeting their needs in many ways. And we also felt that it was our duty as parents to think about these children. We understood that from Islam, it's not the duty of a school to educate a child. It really isn't. There's no concept that you send your child to school to be educated, Islamically. The duty lies with the parents, actually essentially with the father, but with the recognition that much of the work is done by the mother. So think about your own children, but think also about the children of the Ummah. Think also about the children who live here in West London, who live in Slough, where our school is based, who live in North London, where our other branch is based. Each of those children is a unique human being, utterly unique. Anybody who has one child will know how special their child is. But as soon as you have a second, you will know that they are not the same. They're totally different. And each of them has their own needs. And that is why it is the parents who will know the needs of the children. And it is the duty of the parents to understand those needs and to meet those needs. But we're all aware that it's a difficult time. It's not an easy time. What is to come, it looks, may Allah forbid, to be worse than what is now. Our children will need to be prepared for this. But how? What do we do? Well, at Shakhsiyah, we've been thinking about this for 15 years. And not just thinking about it, we've been actually undertaking some quite serious research into this. One of the things we've come up with is certain principles which define what education is Islamically. And those principles are not about having a school. They're about understanding what it is to be human. I'm going to list those, but I'm only going to talk about a few. The first one is niyyah, to understand what the purpose of education is, to understand what we're here to learn for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Secondly, it's shakhsiyah. Shakhsiyah, this word, it's a very hard word to pronounce, and subhanAllah, many of our presenters and people that we talk to stumble over this word. Okay, shakhsiyah, it's hard to say. But we chose this word for a very important reason, to be the name of our school. Because the word means character and personality. But as an Arabic word, it goes far beyond akhlaq. It's talking about an individual human personality, a holistic personality. And this is one of our principles, that this is our aim. We're developing a human being, a unique human being. The third principle is qadwa, leadership, the role of the teacher to lead the child and to lead the community. We also have the principle of halakha. Halakha, I will talk about for a little while, is something which the Prophet ﷺ, a pedagogy, if you like, a way of teaching that the Prophet ﷺ used. And at Shakhsiyah, we spent 15 years developing halakha to be something which meets the needs of our children. We've written a curriculum which is currently being revised, which is used by other schools. And we've worked out a way of teaching children Islam which goes far beyond them having simply knowledge and information about Islam. Another principle we have is Minhaj al-Darasiyah, the curriculum, a holistic curriculum. A curriculum that doesn't compartmentalize, so that maths is not part of you're developing your shakhsiyah, or that science is somehow different to art. I hope our children will talk to you today about how unique this curriculum is. We also feel it's very important balagha, not just Quran, not just Quranic Arabic, but the eloquence of the language of Islam, which gives an understanding of Islam that cannot be matched. One of our problems as a community, as an ummah, is that we cannot access our primary texts directly. We don't have those skills, and we don't have the knowledge. Our idea is to give the children the basic foundation in Quranic Arabic, and you'll see from the campaign brochures that you have under your plates, that mashallah, our children, they're achieving A star, A grade, B grade, C grade in Arabic at the ages of 11, 12, 13. Because they've taught Arabic in a bilingual environment from the age of 3 upwards. Mashallah, some of them have gone on to study Arabic at degree level. And the final principle is something close to my heart, but I won't spend time on, and that is taqdeer. Understanding that education is not about exams. If we can understand what education is about and turn our direction, which sadly I feel as a community, we become so obsessed and focused about examinations and qualifications that we've lost sight of our concepts of education. So what is our concept of education? Because what I'm asking you today to do today is not to invest in a building. Yes, we've gathered you here because we're short of the money that we require to purchase some land and build a school on it. But that's not the investment you're making. The investment you're making is rather in a very unique approach in realizing the Quranic perspective on education, approach that is based upon Islamic concepts of tarbiyah, of ta'aleem, of ta'deeb, and of tazkiyah, of rearing a young child until they fulfill their potential. That's what tarbiyah means. Of giving them a sense of knowledge within a context that they can apply that knowledge. Of giving them a sense of self-discipline, ta'deeb. They know what is the right thing to do at the right time. How to approach their lives. What to prioritize. And finally, tazkiyah. How to purify themselves and to strengthen their nafs, to grow towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are very deep terms that we have in Islam. They're very powerful terms. Once they're harnessed and understood as they are by our teachers, we see quite amazing things happen daily in our classroom. And those things are going to be recorded and tested. We're not just making these claims. We've engaged in research on halakha, on how it works. We're drawing on educational theory by Muslim scholars such as Sayyidina Tayyibah, who draws his thinking from Imam al-Ghazali's tradition of education. We're also drawing on modern contemporary educators. For example, Lev Vygotsky, who was a Russian educator, who talked about the importance of language and dialogue. And the reason for bringing these two together is because Tayyibah identifies the importance of the word in Islam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught Adam alayhi salam that which the angels did not know. And he taught Adam alayhi salam kalima, words. And through those words, Adam gained his rightful stature as the Khalifat of Earth. I don't have time to go into that today too much, but I'd like you to think about that, because this is what education actually is about. This approach that we've developed, it's not something we're just keeping to our 2 schools. It's something that we engage in very positively to disseminate through academic conferences across the world, held in non-Muslim universities, speaking out to many non-Muslims who have come and said, this is really interesting. For example, Professor Robert Ford at the University of Cambridge said that for many years I've studied Islamic education, but yet I didn't know that you had this concept of dialogue through halakha. And I said, this is what the Prophet ﷺ himself did. And he said to me, I thank you for opening my eyes to this, but I didn't find it in the texts. And this is because in our text, education is so deeply buried into our psyche, into our way of life, that you don't get specific books on education. You get books on Islam, you get books on fiqh, you get books on Islamic concepts and Islamic ideas, but deep in these books are very powerful ideas about what it is to be human and what it is to grow as a human and what it is to educate another human. We then also disseminate these ideas through extensive teacher training programs. We've been running a 1-year-long Islamic teacher education course since 2008. We've run this at the Islamic Cultural Centre in central London, Regent's Park Masjid as it's known. We've run it at Ibrahim College in Whitechapel. We've run it in our own schools. And through this, we've had cohorts of teachers go through our course and gain an understanding of what Islamic education is. We also do short courses, which we've delivered as far afield as Qatar, as well as widely in this country. Because we don't believe that what we're doing is just for the few children that we have in our school. Rather, it's a project that's there for the Ummah. So what I'm asking you to invest in, because your investment you will see in the Akhirah, is not a building. I'm asking you to invest in something which is going to have a huge impact on the state of the Muslim community in this country and the Muslim Ummah worldwide. I'm sure that after me, some of our alumni, our young people will come and talk to you about what they have gained from the school. And I hope, inshallah, if you can hear what they have to say, then from their words, hopefully they'll verify what I'm saying to you now. So what is the future for us? Essentially, as schools, we need stability. Alhamdulillah, we have lovely premises in our London school, which we've been long-term renting. But our Slough school, we've been renting a building for 10 years. The lease is now expiring. The site is going to be developed. It's a horrible old office building, not very good condition. But mashallah, alhamdulillah, we've done well there for 10 years. We're at the moment about £250,000 short of the price that we need to purchase the land. And we're appealing to you to help us meet that, because there's a deadline in terms of making that payment to ensure that we can acquire this land. And that's what today's event is about. So please give whatever you can, and also, more importantly, please support us through making dua for us, that Allah gives us the strength to carry on and do the work that needs to be done, and by sharing our project with your friends and neighbours, with your family, so that they can understand that there is lots of good work that goes on in the community in this country, and inshallah, as a community, we can all support it and we can all move forward together. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us achieve this goal.